Hi, everybody. It is Monday, the 4th of March, 2024. Legality's sake, remember I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient psychic, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and form your own opinions. The disclaimer's down in the box, along with my email and all the other nonsense that we have to put up. I want to say thank you to everybody because Saturday's live video is now over 1,000 views. So I guess I know what now to put in the title stream for people to take a big interest to. So yeah, couple things. Hey, happy birthday to Chicago. The city is 187 years old. Yeah, it was formed in 1837. And also, today is Pulaski Day. Pulaski was a general during the Revolutionary War, and without guidance from him, we may not be an independent country, which is lucky because we might have a prime minister or governor general that's like the shitheads that are running Canada and Australia right now. So, yeah, that's a couple things that we kind of all have to remember. Now, part of the nonsense that's going on that's causing a big division here in the States is once they turned the tables on Roe versus Wade, it caused a big upset. Now, different states are making certain medical procedures for women illegal. And you got to realize that how the Hitler's group took over Germany was taking away rights one thing at a time. And people just kind of like, oh, it's not that bad. Until it was a state that if you thought differently from the government, you were shipped off to a concentration camp like Dachau. So remember, folks, this is what's going on now in the U.S. Okay, they flipped Roe versus Wade. So now they can control all of women's medical health care in the United States. Women, are you going to allow that to continue to happen? And of course, the demon quacks, the scumbuckets, the ones that are following the Adolf playbook, are screaming the loudest, oh, we'll give it back. Yeah, they'll give it back to take away something else. Remember that. The demon quacks are actually the evil in disguise. They're the ones that are sending money to the Z guy. They're the ones sending money to Iran. Tehran is actually the head of the evil empire. Remember, in the demon quacks, it was FDR's, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Democrat administration that refused the visas for people to escape Hitler. In fact, go back and read the real American history, and you're going to find out that the Democrats were responsible for making the visa process next to impossible. And now the Democrats are allowing the evil empire to send their troops into the U.S. Take a look at these guys. Yeah, okay, supposedly they're Venezuelan refugees from a socialist country that's gone down the tubes. We're turning into a socialist country if you don't watch out and stand up and fight. Where can we, if the United States goes belly up, where can we go to? Nowhere. We have to make sure that these people are not, that they cannot completely destroy our country. Or we have to help our friends up north in Canada because we know that Trudeau is trying to push through that bill that they say, oh, it's for the children. But when you start reading into it, if you are thinking or even send a private message to somebody through electronic media and you're saying things that the government doesn't like, they can throw you away for the rest of your life. This is the nonsense that's going on. Now I am recognizing this. And Saturday, it's like, okay, my moderator for the live streams is Jody. She and I had a chat afterwards. And one thing that we were both, it was kind of, I mentioned this old movie. I can't remember the name of it. But back in the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s, before the era of cable TV, we had limited TV channels here in North America. And one of the channels would do this thing called Movie of the Week. Well, I mentioned a long time ago, I remember watching this one movie made for TV, and it was about a couple. And they were living, quote unquote, in America. But things had gotten so overpopulated that now couples were only allowed one pregnancy. Well, the storyline of this couple is that they lost their infant child, so she was pregnant again, and they were hiding it from the government. And part of their escape out of America, they had a man was going to help them to escape. And part of the quirk of the film is that because he was turning 65, he would no longer receive any medical care, just palliative. And I remember that one of the scenes in the movie that they were smuggling his medication in because they had put it inside the tire. And yet the evil monitored force for the evil government found the medication being smuggled in. And they literally had to go, the couple had to sneak through on foot into a free area. This is kind of like, and also back in the 70s, they did the original made-for-TV movie version of The Handmaid's Tale. So back in the 70s and into the 80s, Hollywood, the entertainment industry, was foreshadowing everything that would be happening. Now, I was a kid when I saw this. And Jody mentioned she remembered the movie also. But neither one of us can remember the name of the movie, so maybe somebody who's watching this today will remember it and we can try to find it on somewhere on the internet. Yeah. It's kind of interesting that a lot of stuff, go back and start watching the stuff, old TV programs from the 1970s, especially the ones that were produced by independent studios like Desilu. Lucille Ball was really a woman ahead of her time. She saw what would be happening. She almost was a victim of Joe McCarthy. But no, her true self saved herself. But Lucille Ball really, and her husband, ex-husband, Desi Arnaz, they had their own production studio and they were producing programs that were ahead of its time, and they were foreshadowing of what would become. Remember, she produced and gave the green light for Star Trek. Now this kind of brings me up to ages ago. Yeah, I was working on my doctorate, and it was going to be in cultural anthropology. And my subject was, it wasn't, it was basically, my thesis was, it's not the musicians influencing America's teenagers, but the guys in the boardroom. And my thesis topic was approved, but then once I started going out and doing research, and I figured, okay, one of the best ways to get some research is to actually kind of get into the industry and watch what's going on from an insider's point of view. Well, the person that was helping me on it and gathering information, long story short, I was put into a position that was very compromising. And this guy basically saved my life because I was uncovering information that they didn't want out. And this was back in the early 80s. Yeah, it was the guys in the boardroom who were part of the government. And they were trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to influence the teenagers so they can do what we want? And I look now at the people that are 5, 10 years younger than me, and they've been manipulated by the suits in the boardrooms to follow this evil Democrat agenda, the evil wokeness. The friend who basically saved my ass and got me out of there, and I had to drop right in the PhD paper. Long story short, because he wouldn't follow the evil agenda of the music industry, they basically used a way back in the 1980s to eliminate people. Yeah, but the 70s and 80s were the last really hurrah of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, he accidentally, my friend, got poked with a dirty needle. Yeah, and he was a victim of Fauci's AZT poisoning. These people in the suits in the boardrooms, they're not benefiting us. They're only doing things to benefit their own pockets. I mean, one of the new prime examples is go back and from the 1980s, Mike Rutherford from the band Genesis formed his own group, Mike and the Mechanics. Listen to their song Silent Running. And if you can find the original video, watch that. I'll try and find it and put the link into the comments for you. But something else that's kind of whacked is now, okay, I knew that Weinstein was a piece of slimy ass. I mean, he was a real creepazoid. And of course, he kicked in big bucks to Barry. He's friends with Oprah. Well, hey, Barry's Rent-A-Kid, Malia, it's now all in the trade papers how she's dropped her last name. And now she goes by Malia Ann, and she's trying to make a name for herself in the film industry. Oh yes, so she got a film picked up and shown at Sundance. A lot of people have. And many that have had a film shown at Sundance, it goes nowhere fast. Yeah, but she was, quote unquote, won an internship with the Weinstein Company. And allegedly was working as a staff writer for a show, I think they said Netflix? Well, yeah, remember, the Obamas those two kids are rentals. So I think that's where Rachel and Henry got their idea of Rent-A-Kids. But Rachel and Henry screwed up on the contract. Yeah, we all saw Rachel going after and allegedly hanging out with Gordon Getty. Getty Images, which is a big deal in the entertainment industry. Yes. So she was trying to, Mike, every time I looked at that situation, I kept getting the feeling she's talking to Gordon in order to get kids under a contract so she could have pictures of the same children as they grew up. No sane parent is going to sign a contract for their children in basically perpetuity. Not going to happen. Exactly. I mean, she is going to end up getting pulled. Rachel is going to get pulled into the courtroom. Because right now they're now making noise about someone's digging up some dirt. And it's bad dirt. They're creating a rumor stating that, oh, Prince Andrew allegedly made a statement pro Jeffrey Epstein. No. Andrew provided evidence against Epstein. But Epstein got off because look at who the judges were. J.E. has somewhere buried still is all the background dirt that he collected, the films and the audio and the video and actual photographs of all the Democrats that played around with the Miami guy. And they're trying to really make Andrew look like the bad guy when he was actually the good guy in James Bond mode. So they're trying to discredit Andrew now because we all saw him take the lead when he went to Constantine's memorial service. So now people were giving praise to Andrew for stepping up and taking a leading role, leading the family. And that was very positive. So of course, they now have to come up with something extremely nasty and negative to discredit Andy. I'm seeing it. I hope everybody else is noticing it. Because they have to. They have to keep this nonsense going. Because once Donald gets in, their whole master plan is going to fall apart. And so everybody's scrambling. Like, they're scrambling to cover their asses. And something that, I don't know if anybody else watches it, but one of the people on Aussie Sky News, Rita Panahi, she does a segment called Lefties Losing It. Well, in the bit today that was released, one of the clips, they had Fetterman, the dude from Pennsylvania, and some people were in his face going pro-Palestine, and he was like, hey, I'll respect you, but you got to respect me. And of course, they're bashing him, so he slammed the door on him. But one of the other things that they are bringing up, in another segment, Rita Panahi and Kinsey Schofield started chatting about Catherine. And how these fools keep tossing out all this stupid crap-ass rumors that are so far from the truth. We know that Rachel and Henry, they overshare everything because they're looking for news inches. I mean, of course she had to put it out. Oh, her alleged miscarriage? Don't think so. I mean, Rachel and Henry are like, they say they want privacy, but hey, they release it. I'm surprised they don't announce every time they go to the toilet. But yeah, it's like they're pushing. They're releasing all this information because Rachel and Henry are being supported by the demon quacks, the evil empire right now. That's where I think they're getting their cash flow from. So they promote the evil empire, the evil government globalist issue of oversharing everything, especially alleged medical care. That's why they're pushing to find out everything about Princess Catherine. This invasion into Princess Catherine's medical issues is a forefront, saying everybody's medical issues must be under government scrutiny. Yeah. Hey, Roe versus Wade is the tip of the iceberg. It gave the ability for the evil ones, the rhinos. Yeah, I've got spiders in the house. It basically is giving the rhinos the ability to designate who and what gets medical care. Watch out, people, because allegedly there's this treaty that is supposed to be signed in May. So we've got to be careful of it. It would be surrendering all our health care to somebody who doesn't know it, could not pick us out of a lineup. We've got to be careful. We need to start making noise and letting people know, making people recognize what's really going on. This is a necessary evil. Wake up. That's coming down, and I mean, but American politics this year, it's crazy. We know Nikki Haley got her, basically, her participation award. Yeah, the District of Columbia had their little primary election. Well, let's put it this way. District of Columbia was built on a swamp. So the swamp creatures, of course they're going to vote for the wrong guy. They voted for Nikki. She got 1,279 votes, and Donald got 676. Yeah. So that's her participation award. She got one. Because we know the swamp sits on a swamp. Now, one good thing that I did catch when I was going through morning news today, they talked about a high school student in the Bradley Bourbonnais area of Illinois, which is about 2 hours south of downtown Chicago. And this teenage girl, Alexis, is working on her Eagle Scout badge. Now, Alexis McCullough is the daughter of her dad passed away from a heart attack during active military service. So she is a Gold Star daughter. And her project, in order to get her Eagle Scout ranking badge, is to create and have built a memorial in the local park in her neck of the woods, honoring Gold Star families. And there is a page up on Facebook. It's called the McCullough Gold Star Project. And I will also be putting the link to that in the comments, because I think that's a really good thing, because Gold Star families, they lost an important family member who was defending our country. Without the Gold Star and Blue Star families, I wouldn't be able to do this right now. You would not be, everyone in America would not be able to watch me on YouTube right now. If it wasn't for our brave service people in the military, none of us would be here comfortable watching anybody on video over the internet. So If you can help this girl out, get her badge, build a memorial. Let's build a memorial that the Black Lives Matter assholes, fuckheads cannot destroy. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah. Let's support our true patriots and not the Marxist, communist idiots that want to destroy our way of life. So, hey, this is what I've got for you today. Everyone have a good evening, and I'll have another video up for you on Wednesday. Bye.